YouTube, we just watched Noah, and we're going to tell you what we think about it, or about our preconceived notions going into watching it.
Yeah. So, what did we know about it? I guess I'd originally thought, because it's directed by Darren Aronofsky, I had this idea that it was going to be totally insane, totally wacky. Like when he did Pi, he did Requiem for a Dream, he did Black Swan, they did Noah. I was like, really? A biblical epic? Not really sure how he's going to do this, you know, but yeah, it was different to what I had expected, definitely.
So I think, like, knowing Christians, you hear a lot about what Christians think about this movie, and I think maybe the majority of them haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You get shares of blogs that are like, you know, don't go watch Noah because it's not biblical and all this kind of stuff. So I went into it with the excitement, first of all, that somebody had made a movie about Noah. And then on top of that with the kind of, is it going to be as bad as the Christian bloggers say?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking like, is it going to be like, you know, like a Prince of Egypt kind of thing, like, you know, stick really rigidly kind of to the script, I suppose you'd say, or knowing the director and stuff? I mean, is it going to be like, just there's a boat in it and the rest of it is just totally insane?
Some guy called Noah.
Yeah, you know, he happens to be called Noah, and it's kind of based on this thing called the Bible, but no, he kind of goes off on his own rant. But I think what it ended up being, without spoiling too much, is a little bit of both, actually.
Yeah, that's fair to say. It's like, okay, one major big difference that you can see from just looking at posters, so you're not spoiling anything, is that it's a square arc.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, I think a square arc is going to be hit by a wall of water and just break into bits.
Explode.
There's a reason we built the boats in curves.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And then there was a lot of other, I suppose, creative licenses used in it, but they were done well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you had like the Watchers and stuff, like the Fallen Angels, who looked completely different to what I had imagined. I mean, like, in no way at all what I was expecting. But they kind of had their own little kind of reason for that. It was cool. Like, you know, it wasn't exactly by the book, but it was done in a way that explained itself, you know.
So I think, like, one of the things that Christians are terrible at remembering is that Noah's story is maybe 3 chapters of the Bible. And this would include a little bit of the chapter before Noah's story, with Methuselah being in the movie. And so you're making a 2-hour movie about probably a page,
if even,
of scripture. So there's a lot in there that's not in the Bible, which I know people are like, oh, that's whatever it's called, exegesis. It's the opposite of exegesis. But you can't exegete a passage that small to make a 2-hour movie.
It's true.
Like, the Bible series, out of interest, did the entirety of Genesis in an hour. And there is, I think, maybe 50 chapters in Genesis.
Yeah. And
this takes 4 of those chapters and does 40 minutes, the Bible series is in. And this does that in 2 hours.
2.5.
2:15 probably.
Yeah. And of course, like, it's a massive blockbuster of a film, so it has a couple of those unnecessary plot elements in it, just to drive home the excitement and get your tickets worth. And because it's Darren Aronofsky, there are these, like, really weird artistic scenes that have no purpose, but they're really cool to watch, which kind of drags things out. But
there is some really beautiful stuff in it.
Yeah, like, some really nice stuff.
Some of the speeches that people give about what God's will is, or what the Creator's will is, because he doesn't use the word God in it, which is, I suppose, was another thing Christians probably complain about, but that's not ridiculous. Okay, in an age of evolution, we're saying there's a Creator. Like, let's not complain about that. But no, the animals coming, the way that the animals are drawn to the ark, because that's one of those things that people always go, why did the animals, or how did the animals figure out that they needed to go where they needed to go? And the way it's done in this movie, like, I think if you could just watch it for that. Just to really see the scene with what God sends out to bring the animals in, and then there's 3 scenes where animals come in, they've got birds come first, and then kind of snakes and lizards and stuff, and then the beasts of the land. And the way that is, like, each of those is visually stunning. Those 4 scenes.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. They were really cool.
And some of the speeches are great too.
Mm.
And the acting was really good.
The acting was really good, yeah, actually. I think the younger brothers didn't really get to do much, and Ham has this whole kind of side plot going on that he kind of mostly just looks bewildered for.
Yeah.
Spends like, about an hour just like, what the fuck is going on, what's going to happen next? How did I get from one plot to the next? But the other characters in it, like Emma Watson was really, really cool in it, and his wife has really some powerful scenes in it, like, because dealing with family and stuff, and the tug between what you want and what you think the creator wants, and what Noah wants, and all these different things happening, and she really kind of embodied that really well. I thought was pretty damn cool.
One of the big, just speaking about Noah wants and the creator wants and the family and stuff, one of the big things that was said about it as a negative is how Noah's character is portrayed, because he does do some batshit crazy things.
He does go off on a bit of a tangent there for a while. You're like, Noah, what are you doing, buddy? Calm down.
We're going to, without giving too much away, he doesn't really think that the human race should continue. But he's also not going to kill his family too.
Yeah, to see that through.
See it through, yeah. And he's not going to stay out of the ark.
Yeah. What I actually thought was really cool is that, like you see a lot where, like in kind of Christian texts and stuff, where they'll talk to God and you'll get these very direct answers. Like harking back to the Prince of Egypt, like, the bush talking and literally just being like, this is what you got to do, so just do it, okay? And don't question it. Whereas this is none of that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no talking, there's no answers. It's just looking to the sky and going like, anything, really, please. And it's just like, it's all about figuring that out internally and seeing what you think you have to do,
But those scenes are also great, where he has the vision. He has a vision of what's going to come. But he doesn't get it all at once. He gets a bit of it, and he has a bit of a freak out, and he doesn't know what to do. And then only when he's talked to does do more of it, not by God, but does more of the vision come about. And it's quite like that. Like, I guess the Christian experience is like that. God doesn't say, on day one you become a Christian, this is exactly how your life is going to go. It's like, here's a little bit you need to know now. I guess the first thing a Christian knows is there's sin and the world is headed towards destruction, which is the first thing he finds out. And then he finds out that there's a way to salvation, which I think that was quite well done. But also, just on him being a crackpot, the way it's brought together by Emma Watson's character at the end, because you're watching it and you're like, this is ridiculous. Like, he's just gone mental, and you actually feel like maybe somebody should kill him. Yeah,
you're kind of like, let's just get rid of him and just move on.
Somebody needs to push Noah off the ark, because I know that's not how it happens, but you're like, somebody needs to push him off the ark at this point. But no, the way Emma Watson, I won't tell you what Emma Watson's character says in this video, because we're not going to put spoilers on this video. Yes. Too many spoilers.
Very few spoilers.
But there will be another video which will be full of spoilers. So that's going to come in 2 weeks. You've got 2 weeks to go out and buy it and watch it.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe 3 weeks.
Or find a friend who has it. Watch it with them if you can't afford to buy it.
You can probably rent it on iTunes for $3.99. Yeah. But yes, Emma Watson's character pulls the whole Noah's Gone Crazy story together really, really beautifully. And watch it to the end, because that doesn't happen to the end. And you might feel like, especially if you're coming from like a Christian or Jewish or probably even a Muslim perspective, that watching it you're going to be like, this is not what Noah was like. But it does make sense at the end.
And it's actually really cool, because like, if you've read the Christian texts, you kind of know that Noah was often a bit of a bender at the end, And that was never in my mind very clear. Why? It's like he just kind of has a bit of a freak out and goes off and gets really drunk on these grapes that he's found, and the movie kind of makes you go, oh, I wonder, what if it had been a little bit more like this, and you kind of just get a little bit more inside the head of this character, and that's what's cool about it. It takes text, but liberties with it, but does it quite well.
Yes, but in the most part. There's a few bits.
There are a couple of scenes, There's a few bits. Magic metal and
magic metal. Let's talk about. Let's not spoil.
Okay, no, that's not. Let's go.
It has magic metal.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much. There's nothing you can say about it. It's just metal that it's kind of magical. It blows up.
Blows up
when it feels like it.
So, it's basically the director, who's done a pretty good job, has been like, okay. He's looked at Transformers. And he's gone, back in history, like whatever, the flood was 5,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, or whatever it was, they didn't really have guns. So he tries to find a way around that by making this magic exploding metal that they put into like the axe shafts, and then do this with it, and it flies out and causes explosions, which is really...
Although,
just stupid.
On a kind of that similar note, did you notice how like a lot of this was the enemy, you call them the fallen people, they look really developed, like full body armor and stuff, and these kind of mad weapons and things, and that was actually really cool because you think about the flood as being like a second beginning, and so then everything that we are today is like you imagine it's coming from this point. And then you're kind of like, well, what was it like before that? And that was actually okay because Magic Metal's a bit mad, but the other things around it with their armor and their technology and their industry and stuff was kind of like, oh yeah, maybe it would have been like that. Magic Metal's a bit too far, but the rest of it I thought was kind of cool.
It's like the Magic Metal just got wiped off the earth in the flood, fell off the flat edge.
Yeah, hopefully fell off the flat edge. Nobody ever believed it was flat.
I know that.
It's an 18th century myth, but anyway, that's for another video.
We'll do a video on flat Earth one day too.
We will,
Eventually, I'll put a link on Shane's face.
Yeah, it's right here.
It's probably not going to come for about a year.
No, one day.
Oh, maybe a couple of months.
Yeah, maybe a couple of weeks. Tomorrow, who knows? I got links all over my face.
Friday.
Friday, which Friday? Doesn't matter. But
Friday coming.
Okay.
Because this is a fantastic Friday vlog.
Savage.
Okay, no, on the point of pre-flood industrialization, that there actually is like creation science people evidence, so that they find, we keep finding these things that were like, this is from so long ago that we did not think we had this technology back 5, 6, 7,000 years ago. And so where did this come from? Or in some cases, we did not think that we had this technology because humans didn't exist 25,000 years ago. And they're like, we found this in 25,000 year ice. Which, is a whole different topic. But anyway, so there is like some evidence to say that pre the flood, if you take the flood to be an actual event, that there was really developed society. And then the flood comes and it brings it back to zero. It's like resets. Look, obviously, the flood. The idea of the flood is to reset the world, and it resets the world, and we have to start again. And then everything from that point on is like redeveloping what we already knew, and then eventually taking it forward. So I suppose taking it forward from like medieval times.
Yeah, something like that. One thing that kind of during the film that I kind of had a question about, which hopefully you have an answer to, because I was kind of going, I don't remember that part being written. They're all vegetarians. Noah and his family. Was that in the Genesis and stuff, or is that just something they made up? Because as far as I was aware, Abel offered meat. So why would he have given livestock if they weren't?
Offered vegetables.
Yeah,
and God wasn't happy with it.
Exactly. So why would he have had livestock if they weren't eating it? I mean, sure, goats look nice, but they're not the best of company.
You eat goat's milk, so
maybe the milk. Yeah, but I was kind of like, why would Noah be anti-eating?
I think so. That's a good question to bring what I was thinking in my head to talk about next. They've spun it to be an environmentalist film.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
Noah and his family are we care about the earth and we are environmentally friendly.
Hippies, basically.
Hippies. And then everybody else, pretty much literally, is we don't care about the earth. In one sense, it's really good biblically because you've got the traditional interpretation of Genesis chapter 2-ish, or maybe 3, I can't remember, where God tells man that he is to subdue and be in dominion of the earth, and then like more modern understanding of that means to be a steward of the earth and to look after it and care for it, as opposed to rule it. And I think that was done pretty well. So I think that particular thing, them all being vegetarians, is because they wanted the environmentalist theme to come out more.
Mm.
Probably weren't. They did sacrifice a lamb the second they got off the ark.
Yeah.
And there was 7 of them. There wasn't just 2.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember they said there's 2 of every kind. I was like, no, again, it's 7 of the clean and 2 of the unclean.
Yeah.
Come on. So, like, you know, if you were dirty that day, whoops. But, yeah.
If you were a bat or a pig.
Nah, man, it's the ones who took regular baths.
Prawn.
Regular baths, and you had 7. If you didn't take a regular bath, there was only 2 of you, because that's just smelly. And you can't.
But that's a, like, misconception that most of the world has.
Yeah.
Like, very few people know that. No, I took 7 of some animal on the ark.
Because even like if you look at like kids' books, cartoons and stuff,
there's
like,
always 2.
There's always 2 of every kind, and like okay, there were 2 of some. You know, if you're going to talk about it, let's get all the facts down. You know?
So I used to think when I was a kid, though, when you read that story, because you do because the song even goes, the animals went into hurrah.
And some are 7. Doesn't really rhyme. Doesn't rhyme.
And I don't know what animals they do in that song, but there's probably like some clean animals in there that there were 7 of that they say went in 2 by 2.
Yeah.
I can't remember the whole song, so I'm not even going to try and
find. Went in 2 by 2, and every now and then was just one lonesome guy at the back going, it's just me, I'm making up the 7.
But you know, you read the story, you're like in the kids' Bible picture book, and it's got them coming off the ark, and there's an altar, and there's the rainbow over them, and they're all standing there, the 8 of them, and there's a dead sheep on the thing. And you're like, so how do we have sheep?
Yeah, exactly.
Where did they come from?
What did the other sheep?
So they brought 2 sheep on and killed 1.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, we should not have sheep anymore.
Yeah.
So clearly that either wasn't sheep, or there's some other sheep snuck on, or there was baby sheep born on the ark.
Yeah, that one other sheep, like, you know, got lucky the night before, and there you go.
Pregnant.
There you go.
How the way that the movie does the keeping the animals in order on the ark so they don't kill each other, that was pretty clever.
That's
so what would we give it out of 10?
Mushrooms. No, sorry, out of 10.
Mushrooms out of 10. That is a new number we have just discovered.
Definitely mushrooms.
Right now. You've seen it here.
Well, I think let's narrow it down. Let's look at from a creative aspect. I would give it an 8 or a 9. It was beautifully done, visually stunning. From an acting aspect, I'd probably give it a 7. Couple of really good scenes, a couple of weaker characters, and from a storytelling perspective, maybe a 7, maybe a 6, 6-ish, 7-ish, because it's really, really cool. Kind of sticks to the facts and kind of does its own thing, and some of that works and some of it doesn't. So maybe 60, 70.
Okay.
That's me. Anyway.
So now overall,
what the hell is the average of them? You know, maybe a 7. I think I'd say I'd give it a 7. Solid 7. Worth the watch. If your friend pays for it. I'm not a scab. I just, don't like paying for things.
We do not approve of illegally downloading. Well, he might, but I don't.
He does not approve of illegally downloading. Probably a 7. 8 if I was feeling generous. 6 if I'd had a bad day.
Did you have a bad day?
No, I gave it a 7. There you go.
But it wasn't a particularly good day either.
It was fine.
Didn't get an 8. Okay. I think I would have said probably 7 to 7.5.
Generous. 7.5.
I think that's pretty good. Like, I was expecting to maybe give it a 2.
No, it's all about Moses. What's that about?
Hey guys, so the video that you've just seen was actually filmed for last Friday's vlog, but it ended up being really long, and so Shane and I were thinking, why not do a movie Mondays? At least for what they call vlogist. So I'm not going to do a vlog every day. That's crazy. It takes so long to edit these ones that I'm not going to be starting putting up one every day. I'd have to just put them up unedited, and I don't really want to do that because I say stupid things a lot. So anyway, this video was about the movie Noah, which has recently come out on DVD. Shane gave it a 7. I gave it a 7 to a 7.5. We think it was pretty good. Like, I'm going to actually talk about it more. And when I do talk about it more, I will put the link here so that you can go watch it. But that's not going to be for another few weeks because it's going to be Wavey's Wednesday video. There will be another Movie Monday video next Monday though, so you guys can watch that. I will put the link here. Wait, can you see here? So, Wavey's Wednesday on Noah here, and the Movie Monday next week here. So, if you guys liked this video, please give it a like, and please subscribe to my channel, and please comment, and please share, because I would love to hear what you guys are thinking. And if you do all that, that keeps the tide coming in. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you on Wednesday with another Wavey's Wednesday.